Okay. There's 2 of them. There's 2 more. I just have to show that everybody's here, that there's 5 people.
Should have waved, huh? Did you wave?
Doesn't matter.
Sure, we're happy to. Listen, should we clap?
Okay, so my Nathaniel Wedge, this is my speech. Customer service is not just pointing out the location of something. Service part indicates that there's a problem that needs to be solved. And it's up to the workers to help them to solve that problem. No matter how big or small, even every unruly customer has an issue that can be solved. Nobody likes unruly customers, and that's why it's a job to help them so everyone has a better day. There's a few steps to help unruly customer. First, you must listen to them. Second, you talk to them. And third, I'll talk about what to do if they're being disorderly and unmanageable. The first and most important part of dealing with them is listening to them and listening to the problem that's at hand. If you know the issue, it'll give you insight on how to help them. Some cases, they may just be having a bad day. Everyone's human. Everyone has bad days. And some of them just might need to rant to you and have you to listen to them about whatever the issue may be. If it's their favorite store that they always go to and it doesn't have what they want in stock, for example, if it's Quick Trip and they don't have any breadsticks and they want breadsticks, they might just need to rant about it and talk to somebody. Listen from their point of view. You work there, you get, most of the time, you get desensitized to it because people coming in and going out and you're showing people where stuff is and restocking stuff. So just listen to what it is from their point of view. If they have a plumbing project or whatever it is and then they show up and they need something fast because their pipes are leaking and you're stuck with somebody else and they might get angry because of that. So just seeing it from their point of view, how would it make you feel? And the customer is always right. Now, the customer isn't always right, but we want to make them think that they're always right. That way, they're calm and they think that they're in control of the situation that they didn't feel in control of, because then they're not going to be as agitated. It typically calms them. And so the second step to do after listening is talking. Let them know that they're understood. Use empathy, not sympathy. Respect them. Don't try to say that you know how they feel, because most of the time you don't. So no matter what it is, just be kind, be respectful. Let them know that you understand that they're angry or upset, whatever the case may be, and that you just want to help them out, to not be mad at you. And if you don't understand, ask them to explain further so that you do understand, so you can help them out. Talk about solutions to it. If it's a coworker that they're getting mad at or they don't quite understand and they're butting heads, just talk to them and take over for that. If you can, give them a discount or like an IOU or something like that. Something along the lines of saying that you understand and that you're sorry. If the issue is you or another customer in the store, I'd usually get a supervisor. That way they can't say you said something or that they did something that they didn't really do. That way it kind of covers your butt and helps you to manage the situation as well. And if they can't find anything, check to see if you got it recently, if it might be in the back storeroom, or if they just didn't see it, if it's in a different location. For working at Menards, I got that a lot. We would get stuff in and it wouldn't get put out for a day or two, and people would come in because it says it's on stock on the website or on the app, but they couldn't find it. So they'd come to the workers, and no matter who they could find, they just would ask, and then you have to look it up and you have to go, and most people didn't search for it, they just said they couldn't find it. But there was a few people who went back and searched for stuff, which is a good thing to do because they're there to buy stuff, so help them buy stuff. A apologize to them. From my personal experience, apologizing makes the situation better most of the time. If someone comes in and they're angry about something, just apologize about it and ask them how you can help them, and most of the time they'll start calming down. Explain your viewpoint too. You listen to their viewpoint and explain your viewpoint on how you see stuff, not just how they see stuff, because they need to know sometimes from the worker's shoes that not everything turns out how they think it turns out. There's a lot more moving pieces oftentimes than what they think there is. And if they don't want to listen to you and they're any of the following of violent, belligerent, or dangerous, there's a few things you can do. If they're refusing to listen and they're being yelled, they're yelling or being loud, typically it just makes situations worse, so get someone like a supervisor or someone else to come in too, or just even another coworker to help you out, to figure out how to handle that. Typically supervisors or managers are seniors and they've been working in that job, in that department, in that kind of field for more time than most other people have, so they'll have a better understanding of how to deal with it. So if they do become belligerent or violent, or dangerous or potentially dangerous, just call the police. Don't try to take the matter into your own hands unless you have to. In some cases you see the videos of people at gas station disarming robbers, or whatever the case may be, but in the end it's not worth getting shot over the $250 that's in the register. So whatever the case is, if it's dangerous, just call the cops and let them handle it if you can. When they leave the situation and it can't be resolved for whatever reason, if they just refuse to cooperate, if they just refuse to listen, if there's no way to help them out, there's a couple things you can do. You can apologize again, just let them know that you're sorry. Let them know that you can help them in the future if they ever need help. Don't say something like "have a good day," because that can be misconstrued as being passive aggressive, because even a few times in school, learning how to be a cop, if you'd say "have a good day," oftentimes it'd be a scenario that we were playing out that it was domestic abuse or someone got their house robbed, and then you said "have a good day," and it can be misconstrued in most situations. Instead, say something like "have a better day," or just "drive safe" even. I know it's just weird, but "drive safe" is often just a kind of overall ending to a conversation. In conclusion, listen to them, explain your views, listen to their views, try to find a solution, and if at any point things become unsafe, call a supervisor and the police if you need to. Be kind, look through their eyes, and explain yourself. Actually seem like you care about them, because in the end they're just a person too. So, thank you. Any questions?
I like what you said at the end there, that you should look through their eyes,
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, actually they are very mad, and
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to do your part too,
Mhm.
but that calms you down to not be like them too.
Mhm. Yeah,
You
'cause
know,
I
I
know-
thought that was a good analogy you had there.
I know there's been a few times at Menards where it's been like that. There's been people that come in and one person tries helping them out, but they're just treating them like it's just something they need to get out of their way and get off their plate, instead of actually figuring out how to help them and seeing what they need to help them. So I don't know, I just figured if you look at it as if it was me or if it was one of my family members, then you'll do a way better job every time. So.
What do you do if you know someone's just trying to get a discount out of you?
What do you mean by that?
Like, you know that they want to buy the product, but they're just saying it's too expensive.
I mean, usually you can tell.
You need to do something about that.
Usually you can tell.
Do you give them the discount, or do you?
I mean, if it makes them happy, yes, but I'd go more the route of "I'm sorry you feel that way." I don't make the prices. The prices are what they are. If they really insist on it, I guess so. But if they're just kind of a repeat offender of that, then I just,
Well, couldn't you tell them to talk to your supervisor then, or someone that could
Yeah.
help them out more than
Yeah,
you
mhm.
maybe?
Yep.
Because you just worked there?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and we had that a couple times at Menards where people just tried getting free stuff out of us because
Yeah.
for whatever reason, like when I had to pull orders for online orders, when people ordered stuff off the app, it was a lot of, well, why do I have to pay the extra $2 for this? And it was kind of explaining that we grabbed their bathtub and shower and their whole bathroom remodeled stuff for an extra $2 per item because that's just how Menards does it. They just somehow manage out the cost of what it takes to pay the workers and how much extra to charge for pulling each item. So kind of falls under the explain yourself sort of area.
But you'll always find people that want something for nothing, no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yep. And those are the kind of people too that it's just, you just apologize to them and ask them if you can do anything else for them. And some people just don't want to be happy, so you can't help to make them happy.
No.
How do you handle somebody who wants a certain product to do something, but they're trying to buy a cheaper product that you know won't meet that?
I guess just explain to them why the more expensive one would be better. Oftentimes at Menards there was some flooring and there was the more expensive stuff. For example, there was flooring that just clipped together but it didn't have padding underneath it, and there was stuff that did have the padding underneath it, and it was a couple more bucks per square foot, but it had padding, it was waterproof, and it had like a 30-year warranty and stuff like that. And people would oftentimes go with the cheaper stuff and get the rolls of padding, and it ended up being, they would complain about how much stuff it ended up being versus just the however many boxes they need. So typically you just explain to them beforehand, and if they don't understand, then I guess sometimes people just don't want to get the more expensive stuff because they think it's not convenient enough. The few extra bucks that they're going to spend isn't worth the time they're saving. So
I was just wondering, did you have to deal with a lot of people on that level, where they came in complaining a lot? I mean, did you have a lot of rough days?
not necessarily. I know other workers did because they didn't have the best attitudes at work, and it's like I just kind of showed up and my goal was to do my job, and if I needed to help people, then it's just kind of, Menards was, everybody in the store isn't a customer, they're a guest, so you kind of treated them as that. So instead of just walking past them, you asked them if they needed help or if they needed help finding anything, which made the job a little bit harder, focusing on trying to help everybody out you see on top of doing your job. But I guess just that's kind of what helped me, is just making sure that everyone, if they need something, you just help them out with that. So typically people are a lot better and happier when you just try to meet all their needs instead of them having to search out and look for stuff. I guess it's kind of like if you went up to a restaurant and they already knew what you wanted, sort of deal, versus if you went there and then you had to go in the kitchen and cook the food for yourself and then pay your own bill. So
It's very good. You're available to the customer. You show your care that they came in
yep,
to take the time to buy at your store.
yeah.
Yep.
What do you do if somebody tries to give you a tip?
What do you mean?
Tries to pay you money for helping them?
Well, it depends. If the place allows tips, take it. If it doesn't, like at Menards, there was a couple times I helped people out and they tried paying me, and I told them it was my job and I just got paid for helping them anyways. There was one lady in particular that I was loading up the last box of flooring into her van. I was wearing the blue vest at the time, and it has pockets on the side. And she quick stuck a $5 bill in my pocket, and she said, "There you go." Shut the door. She got in her car and drove off. So I just walked up to the store manager and I told him about that, and he's just like, "Oh, whatever." He's like, "Just spend it on some snacks or something." So I guess just tell somebody so it doesn't seem like you're doing that to make sure
Yeah,
that it's not like you're asking people for tips. It doesn't seem like it could be misconstrued that way. It's just you want to tell them about it, and I mean, if you get to keep it, you get to keep it. It's a plus. If you don't, I mean,
yeah, some places they don't allow tips. There was a root beer stand in Waupun, and when I would drive through, a couple times I tried giving her, you know, an extra $1 or $2, and she said, "No, I'm sorry, we can't accept any tips," you know. And I said, "Well, you did such a nice job," and she said, "Thank you for that, but we cannot accept it." So.
and our instructors tell us in the police academy too. If like your department policy says nobody's gonna pay for your coffee, you can't take like handouts. Essentially, is what it says. You just kind of tell them, "Well, I can't take that. I'll pay for my stuff. You just use it to pay for the next person who comes in here," sort of situation. So I guess you could always go that route. Just if somebody needs something, then you have it there for helping them out. Just kind of like, I guess, keeping it by the register in case someone ends up being $3 short. Then there's $10 that someone tried giving somebody so that they could pay for that, and then there's still some money left in case somebody needs it. Just kind of passing it on.
Like you say, honesty is the best policy, right?
Yep.
Yep.
As long as you're honest about it, it can't be misconstrued at all. So.
Would you ever pay if somebody was short
What do you
out of
mean?
your own pocket?
Did that at Quick Trip the other week. There's one guy who it actually snowed I think 3 weekends ago when it snowed. He had to go up to Appleton because they got a couple inches of snow, and his card was only paying at $2.30 a time on his debit card, and he was getting kind of angry that he just wanted to get out of there, and there was like $10 left. So I was like, "Oh, I'll just pay it so you can get out of here." And then I paid it, and then my coworker actually tried giving me money too for that. She's like, "Oh, well, I'll just split it with you. Here's a $5." And I was like, I don't need the $5, but so I mean, people do it all the time. Quick Trip, I guess, don't go looking for it, but if it actually happens, people there are super nice at Quick Trip from what I've seen so far. Menards, I don't know if you could get anybody there to pay for anything. A lot of them are more, because Menards, it happens a lot where people try to get free stuff there, so just two different environments, I guess. So it's not really against any policy so far from where I've been to pay for somebody's stuff if they need help with it. So. Any other questions? All right.
I think so.
Thank you.
Thank
Very
you.
good job. Good job, Nathaniel.
Go ahead, Jeff.